The withdrawal of the CSTO peacekeeping contingent will begin on January 13th, said Head of State Kassym-Jomart Tokayev at the meeting of the emergency response team in Almaty. He arrived in the city to personally assess the consequences of the terrorist attack. Following the results of the meeting of the emergency response team of the Government Commission, together with mayors' offices, the President instructed to restore facilities in all regions, establish a smooth operation of transport and food supplies in a short time. Kassym-Jomart Tokayev also met with the families of police officers and soldiers who were killed in the tragic events in Almaty, expressed condolences and presented awards to the relatives. He noted that the state will provide all possible support to the families. People expect real results from our work, new Kazakh Prime Minister Alihan Ismailov said, holding the first meeting of the government in a renewed composition. Ministers must justify the high trust of the president at this hard time for the whole country, the head of the cabinet noted.
Біздер үкіметтің жаңа құрамы халықтың өмір сапасын жақсартуға, экономиканың өсімін сақтауға,
The new government must make every effort to fulfill the tasks set by the president aimed at improving the quality of life of the population, maintaining economic growth and confronting the pandemic, restoring the enormous damage by terrorists and looters, and bringing the country out of the large-scale crisis.
Бұл осындай аса ауыр жағдайда әлі ешқандай үкіметтің алдында болып көрмеген өте күрделі де ауқымды міндет.
President of Kazakhstan Kassym-Jomart Tokayev assigned to prepare the government's actions program for 2022 within 3 weeks. Today, Alihan Ismailov gave specific terms for the development of this project.
I
instruct the Ministry of National Economy jointly with the state bodies and organizations to set up a draft program and submit it to the government by January 20th this year. It was assigned to radically revise the approaches to the provision of state support measures as well as the activities of some development institutions. In this regard, I instruct the relevant department together with interested state agencies and the Atomic National Chamber to swiftly work out transparent and understandable mechanisms for providing state support measures to small and medium-sized business and also analyze the effectiveness of development institutions. Ministers of the new cabinet took the oath at the meeting. Kazakhstan will not set high prices for petroleum, oil and lubricants. The excise tax rates on coal will be revised for this. Margin will be also limited, reported Kazakh Finance Minister Yerulan Jamaobayev at the government's meeting. He listed measures to fulfill the instructions of Kazakh President. Mechanisms are currently being worked out to increase revenues from subsoil users in the mining and metallurgical complex for additional incomes to the budget. The excise rates on coal will be revised. The margin price will be limited. This will allow suppliers to bring additional income to the budget. The requirement for authorized economic operators will be strengthened as part of improving customs administration. They will be connected to the horizontal monitoring system in order to get an online access to their accounting systems. Measures will be also taken to increase accountability for all violations in the customs field, the minister highlighted. According to him, the department, together with interested government agencies, will conduct a comprehensive audit to ensure order at the customs border soon. The objectives previously set by the President of Kazakhstan determine priorities of work in legislative environment, said Chairperson of Mazhilis Nurlan Nigmatulin at a plenary session of the lower house of the Kazakh Parliament. Mazhilis may now face a set of tasks to support instructions of the head of state, he noted. This is a radical reform of the entire system of ensuring national security, support for macroeconomic stability and small and medium-sized businesses, elimination of interregional imbalances and solution of social problems of the population. The Mazhilis took on a number of new bills, each of which is aimed at stabilizing social and economic situation in the country. In particular, this is a bill to support personal subsidiary plots and standards on reforming housing policy. The latter bill determines a mechanism for subsidizing rents for secondary housing for socially vulnerable segments of the population.
Законопроектом предлагается
The bill proposes to make amendments and additions to 4 codes and 19 laws of Kazakhstan. Dear colleagues, the committee is ready to take on the bill and issue a conclusive report on it.
Депутаты также приступили к работе по
Also, MPs started to work on a new bill on bankruptcy of individuals, which will ease the burden of accounts payable by our citizens. All this is especially important at this difficult time. Certainly, all this work, dear colleagues, will be and should be organized in close cooperation not only with the government, but also with all political parties, civil society and the expert community.
гражданским обществом и экспертным сообществом.
The damage to the business from the riots in Kazakhstan is tentatively estimated to be almost 104 billion tenge, the press service of the Almaty National Chamber of Entrepreneurs reported. The call center received about 5,000 calls, of which 2,000 inquiries were for looting and almost 300 for business resumption and damage assessment. According to experts, appeals from business people continue to come and their number will only grow. According to the latest data, 1,615 affected business entities have been identified throughout the country. Most of them are located in Almaty. Businesses selling goods were hit particularly hard and suffered the most losses. There are about 1,500 of them. Public catering, the financial and logistics sectors were also affected. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu expressed support for the people and the government of Kazakhstan and welcomed the appointment of Alihan Smayilov as the new Prime Minister.
The
Turkic world is a big family, and our countries are part of a single whole. We are satisfied with the stabilization of the situation in Kazakhstan. Turkic-speaking states should be united to solve issues. The organization of Turkic states is the best site for the development and welfare of our countries.
Member of Serbia's National Assembly Dragomir Karic also expressed support for the measures and decisions taken by the leadership of Kazakhstan. He noted the wisdom of the Kazakh people, which helped to cope with the situation worthily.
I've known your country very well for a long time now. I've been connected to Kazakhstan due to many years of cooperation, friendship, and kind friendly relations. Therefore, it was painful to learn that peace and well-being in the country of the Great Steppe were violated due to the actions of looters and instigators. They want all the efforts and hard work of the tight-knit multi-ethnic country to be destroyed in no time due to violent actions of real bandits who are trying to please some people's political ambitions. As a member of the National Assembly and as an old friend of Kazakhstan, I express my full support to the decisive and smart decisions of President Tokayev. There are no doubts that the people's wisdom and measures taken by the country's leadership will allow to manage the situation.
The epidemiological situation with coronavirus infection in Kazakhstan has deteriorated sharply. Health Minister Ajar Geniyat announced this at a government meeting. The rapid spread of infection was influenced by the increase in cases of the new Omicron strain in the country, the minister explained. As a result of research in early January, the Omicron variant was identified and confirmed in the cities of Almaty and Nur-Sultan. The Omicron variant is recognized as highly contagious and there is an increased risk of reinfection. In the upper respiratory tract, Omicron replicates 70 times higher than the Delta variant. Also, the minister gave a forecast for the development of the epidemiological situation in the country. According to the optimistic scenario, up to 17,500 cases will be registered per day. However, this becomes possible due to full revaccination of the population and preventive measures. There is also a pessimistic forecast: at least 40,000 Kazakhstan residents will contract a dangerous infection every day. In the last 24 hours, the number of coronavirus cases in Kazakhstan has increased more than twofold. Overall, 4,810 new infections were reported. Nur-Sultan accounts for the highest single-day case count in the country. Over 3,300 new cases of COVID were detected there in the past day. The country's largest cities of Shymkent and Almaty follow with 200 new positive cases of infection in each. Since the onset of the pandemic, total COVID-19 cases in Kazakhstan have passed 1 million. According to the Health Ministry, almost 27,500 residents are currently receiving treatment for coronavirus, 3,400 of them in inpatient care. To date, more than 8,568,000 Kazakh citizens have been fully vaccinated against the virus with 2 doses.